So today I'm out setting up this Common Sale Supreme DH 2020 model. 27 front and rear, medium. Feels a little small, but not bad. Nimble, bigger than 90% of the bikes that I've ridden in my life, apart from what's happened in the last 3 or 4 years with bike sizes. So not something I can't get used to. I rode the Clash, which was quite small, 445 reach. It was more or less the same size as my Remedy / Patrol, similar size to those bikes, and had no trouble getting on with it, and it was killer. But anyway, I'm setting this sucker up, and it's going to be mint. So we've got high pivot, Super Deluxe in the rear, Boxxer Ultimate in the front, so high and low speed compression. I've been for a back and forth, or a heap of back and forth so far, on the street or on this little dirt slippery patch, getting the balance of the suspension, so pumping up the front, dropping the pressure out, playing back and forth with compression and rebound settings, just car park setup, compression settings at the back, hucking off the little wall ledges and making sure that the initial impact on landing is butter and not impact, and then the shock gets out the way. So just about to tip it in, and we'll see how she goes. So step one, top of the trail or top of the section I'm about to session, which is the top of Horsey's. Stash me bag somewhere in the bushes at the top of the section, because there's no point in stashing at the bottom, or there is, doesn't matter, but today it's going to be heating up, so temperatures in the suspension are constantly going to be changing. So I want to be making my changes at the top of the trail just before I drop in, so I know, instead of, if I go down the bottom, do a run, the bike's warm because I've just been beating it up through a bit of a section, or the suspension may be a little warmer, I pump it up or change it, come back to the top, it's 2 or 3 degrees hotter, and that changes. It's only might be a few PSI, a couple of PSI, but I'm looking for exact. I'm looking for the exact setup to make this thing slay. So I want the stuff at the top of the trail, somewhere where, you know, passers-by aren't going to find it and raid your gear. But look at it, ready to party. This will be the initial, just roll down, see how it feels, and get a base of where we're at. So rebound feels okay, compression seems okay, but you don't know until you're bouncing off rocks. Let's have a look. A little bit rough on the front. But the back is like there's no bumps. Feels like there's nothing going on at the back, which is nice. So definitely got to adjust this front. But that back's butter smooth already, and that's at 27-28% sag, which is, they've got a recommendation on this bike, which is 19 mil minimum, 21 mil, which is about 25% sag, 21 mil optimal, and 23 mil max. So that was at 150 PSI, that run then, at the back. Fork was at 130 at the front. So I'm gonna drop, didn't feel tall at the front. I'll drop some pressure out. If that doesn't help, I'll drop a token out and go back to the pressure. So I just let a little bit out. We're at 125 now at the front from 130. Equalize it. Just colour pumps to the equalisation point and then a couple past it. Unweight it, let it sit. Check the pressure, 126. Little dab. 125. Equalise again. Double check. 125, we're good. So I pay attention to, if it's going to be choppy still at the front, how it complies to this loose stuff, and how it feels when the bumps start coming. My instinct's already telling me that I need to take a token out, but we'll see. Certainly smoother. Certainly very smooth. Not sure if it's super fast yet, but that may just open it up for me to, woo, that lip's sketchy, for me to add some compression and get this thing feeling strong without the chop. So we'll start with a high speed click. So that little run, we used all the travel at the back, probably on these jumps, or probably got 1 or 2 mil left in the bank, so I didn't feel the bottom, but used it all, which I'd kind of expect to on these jumps if you bottom out, which I didn't really, but definitely going through the travel. So that'll be an approach for that, will be either this run here, well not either, this run here, I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna add a click of compression, and I'm gonna pay attention to the ride height at the back. See if it's a little low, I might even hit those corners down a bit further. And if it's a little low, then that'll allow me to add a bit of pressure just to bring it up a touch. But if I like the ride height where it is, then I'm just gonna have to use compression for that, and maybe a token down the track. So yeah, lots of variables, but I'll work through it one by one and we'll get there, or maybe 2 by 1 in certain situations. But it is butter smooth across all this stuff, like just butter smooth, absolute potential. So I've got one more click of high speed compression to try and hold this fork up a bit, see how it performs, and certainly is holding it up more. It's certainly resisting those hits more, but I'm not sure if it's necessary yet. Back end feels a little soft, if I'm honest. Oh, it doesn't feel, it feels a little sluggish. Let's see how it feels in these turns. See where the balance is. I don't feel low in the back. I feel like I'm right, you know, it's almost right where it needs to be with that ride height. It just wants a bit of compression. And the fork, I think I'm gonna go low speed. So back off the high and go to the low. I'll give the rear end a click of compression. So we're 8 clicks of low speed on the fork now, 125 PSI. 1 click of high speed, and on the rebound, on the rear, we got 3 clicks out from full fast on the rebound at 150 PSI, and 8 clicks of low speed compression. We'll see if that gives it a little bit more gusto off the back of things. Don't think it needs faster rebound. Maybe a touch. I could probably go a click, but we'll assess that up the top. So 6 clicks on the rear of low speed, 8 clicks on the front of low speed. I think I got them confused just before. The fork still feels a little choppy, and that's replacing high speed with low speed now. So it's not pushing me as much, but it's dancing around a bit more, and I'm feeling more bump. So I will go back to 6 clicks of low speed for sure. Whoa, turned it in a little sharp then, no biggie. So we'll go back, 2 clicks back, and we'll run that setup, and we'll see how the back feels. So that run just then, I reset the pressures at the top to make sure we're still consistent, because it's quite a hot day today. It's morning at the moment, and it's going to be 36 degrees, so it's probably 25 at the moment. And yeah, they had risen a couple of PSI, so stay on top of that, you're all good. So my thoughts are drop a token out of this fork. So I've gone back and forth, and as soon as you start adding compression, you get that punch back. So I could drop more pressure, but I'll be going lower and deeper in the sag at the front, and I'm not really into that, and it kind of makes for a sluggish ride. So I'm going to go 2 tokens. I know one's probably a little too little, just judging by the street test, but 2 might be the money, and I'll go a little extra air, keep that front end up, and see if we can soften it. We're back at 130 on the fork, 2 tokens now, down from 3 tokens and 125, which was the best so far. But I want to keep it up in that ride height. Where it was before at 125, 3 tokens, super butter smooth, but just not quite carrying the speed. And if I wanted to add any more compression, I'd have to drop the pressure, which would drop the ride height any more again. So I'm going back up, and we'll see how it goes. Extra click of compression on the back, kept the shock off the bottom. It was nice. Let's see how this feels. Oh, it's a little stout. It's a little too, yeah, it's a little stiff off the top now, for sure. I can't really hold on to it. Yep. So let's go back up and have another look at that. It's just every little undulation and bump you can feel, and it's just kind of pushing you up and down a bit instead of ploughing across it. So pretty obvious there for me. Go back up, rechange it. So back at 125, two tokens now, 6 clicks of low speed compression. Rebound's the same at the front for now. Rear end's the same. Check the tyre pressures, they'd gone up a PSI, so I dropped them a bit far. I've gone to 24 and 26 at the back. Oh. Woo. It feels a bit in and out now. So I reckon 3 is definitely the go for this fork. Oh, that's not good. We'll see how it is. Yeah. Not carrying the greatest of speed either. So we'll go back up, chuck the 3rd token back in the fork, because that's the sweet spot, I reckon. Rear, I use most of the travel. Got a little bit in the bank left. So I'm pretty sure I'm happy with that ride height out back. If I was to go higher, taller, let's try a couple of PSI in the back. See how that makes it. What I should have done on that run is add a click of high speed compression as well. So bring that up to 2 clicks of high speed compression to see if that makes up for the token gone in that spring. But it might just be making that spring just a little hollow. So yeah, we'll think about it on the way up. Before we change that spring, we're going to go 2 clicks of high speed compression and 1 off of the low speed up the front. Nah, it's bashy. Yeah, it's bashy with two clicks for sure. Like it's as soon as you hit an impact, it boom, it just bashes back on you. So 1 click's probably the home for the high speed compression. We'll bring that low speed back up. We'll head back up. So back where we were, 3 tokens, 125, 6 low, 1 high compression. The back 150 psi, 5 clicks of compression, and I've gone 1 faster on the rebound on the back. So see if we can get a little bit more off the back of things. See how smooth this sucker is. I reckon I could go down in the travel a bit at the back, for sure, because I'm just tall when I'm sending that stuff up there, so just a little tall. I don't want to go too low because you start slapping pedals, but yeah, we'll drop the pressure just a little bit out the back. But on second thoughts, that might just be a product of that rebound being faster. Feels like it stands me up a bit taller. So there's considerations there. Maybe I'll just take the rebound back a touch and go back up with the compression. Hang on, that slowed that down more. I went slower on the rebound, not faster. Interesting. Yeah, it's just a little high on On the ride height then maybe another pass with, I didn't touch the pressure out the back. I went because we realised that I'd gone slow instead of faster on the rebound, and it actually made it feel a bit chunkier and a bit wacky. So I'm 2 clicks out from full fast now on the rebound. Originally 3 clicks, and that last run I was 4 clicks. And 1 extra on the compression, so we're at 6 of compression at the back, and that back end just feels excellent. I could probably go another click of low speed compression at the back, and I've just gone a click of low speed at the front as well. So yeah, let's see what this brings. Found a pretty decent bass tune. 6 clicks of low speed in the back, 2 clicks from full fast on the rebound, 150 psi. No idea of the tokens yet, I haven't opened it up. I think they were 2 when we first got the bike. Fork 125, 1 click of high speed, 7 clicks now of low speed, and the rebound's 9 out from closed. Feels like a killer starting point. It's playful, it's aggressive. I'm just not sure how it's going to go in the steeps yet. Time will tell. Oh, it's a little bit choppy at the front now with that extra click of... Oh, maybe that's from the back. It might be coming from the back. Because I went... Back feels quite strong now. Smooth and strong. Like I don't need that rebound anymore with the extra click of compression. So what do I want? Do I want the strength from the compression and slow the rebound down a bit? Or do I want the softness from the faster rebound and back off the compression a touch? I think I'll keep the compression for now. Yep, I'll keep the compression for now because I like the way I can squat into the bike and make it do what I want. And the fork, let's go 1 back, so we're back to 6 clicks of low speed. It's pretty decent. So we'll head over to the steep stuff now, take the gear and see how it handles the looser terrain, stuff moving underneath it at slightly slower speed and tipping in on a steeper angle. So heading up the steeps, first thing I've noticed climbing up this path, this kind of pebbly rocky path, is it's not very compliant on the small bumps, which is something that stands out straight away when I've got a trail bike and I'm climbing. So I'll tune to change and get more suppleness on the climb, and it always makes for a faster, more efficient and more compliant bike. So this rear definitely needs addressing in the spring curve, so I'll open it up after, see where it's at. But first off, we'll just do a run to make sure it's good for the steep stuff, height wise, ride height. I'd never encourage you to push up trails, especially gnarly ones like this, but today it's 36 degrees, so I'm very confident that I'm not going to see many people, so I'll keep my ears open and my eyes open and hopefully we're good. So my instinct's telling me another token in the fork and something with the configuration in the rear, but I'm not sure yet. Let's log some more data. So there's some braking bumps and kind of steep turns along here. Give me a good idea of what's happening. Holy shit, this thing just launches. So I think my ride height's just a touch high in the back maybe. Not too bad around that turn. And yeah, definitely choppy on the smaller bumps, the abrupt little suckers. Along this braking bump surface or rugged surface. Yeah, I think I need to go down a touch in the back for sure. And it's certainly rough on the braking bumps, like not super smooth. Just feels like a monster truck through that stuff, like it doesn't exist. But certainly, I'll start with just some pressure out of the back. Fork can probably stay where it is for now. Run the pressure had creeped up a little bit, so back at 125 at the front, and I've gone down to 147. It was 153 just then, so too tall anyway. So 147 in the reel. See if this is a bit low and a little bit wallowy, but I think I'm going to need a token out there because it's oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if I need a token in the fork. It might be good. Back's a bit lower now, so I can steer a little bit better. I can change direction from the back end instead of having to slow down and use the whole bike. A bit choppy, but pretty good. I love that ride height now. Didn't use nearly any travel at the back, but there's no G out, so kind of goes without saying. But I'll keep that 6 clicks of compression at the back, and I'll keep that 2 from fast. Is it 3 from fast? 3 from fast, yeah. On the rebound. Feels pretty good. I could probably go all the way up and send it, but that's a long walk. Alright, so we're dropping in from the top of the second half of the track. Fair old climb, but it's worth it. So I've gone one more click on the fork of low speed compression. Everything else is the same. And we'll see if that holds me up without getting rough or ragged or feeling odd anywhere. So it's a little pokey off the top now on that fork. Absolutely. Didn't bottom out that back end on that little huck. So I might just, I'll go back, we'll take that click back off. Quite hot up here now as well, so probably been half an hour since I loaded that pressure. And may well be a little high again. But let's see. Oh, I scratched the pedal on the way through there. So I couldn't go any lower out the back. Oh, that feels good. Feels real good. No bottom out on the landing. A little bit skew whiff. The fork's still not what I want, but it's better. I think. Another token. Softer off the top with that fork. And should be spitting flames. Hard impact off the back end. Yeah, it's definitely low in the back end, for sure. A little bit wily. I'd probably take a token out of the back and add one in the front. Maybe. It's certainly a Brumpy. She wants to go. Absolutely wants to go. I like the ride height. I'm just scratching pedals every now and then, which I don't want. Whoa! Huh.
Oh, we're done for the day. That is hard work. Fork, an extra token for sure. A little bit less pressure, so probably 120. 4 tokens. Compression can stay the same. And the back end, I do like that ride height now. I've blown all the way through the travel. Didn't clap it, but used it all. If I was to take a token out, I'd have to increase the ride height a touch, which I think I can handle. I think I can go a little more ride height and 1 less token, but that can be for another time. At the moment, this thing is pretty close and it's quite fast. Just got to control that front end a bit more. So another thing I've noticed about this rear end at this shock configuration and pressure and ride height, so it's probably at maximum ride height on recommended, it catches all the square edges at the back, like the bigger square edges. It's like the wheel just can't get out of the way, it's too deep and it sags, and it just goes whack and kind of jolts you for a second. So definitely reckon 1 less token and a little bit more pressure. Get that ride height up, and the less token will have it skipping across things a bit more, and the pressure will make up for the bottom out resistance. And then we'll reassess that low speed compression setup, which will be within a click or two.